Hello Internet, I'm Richie and welcome to Sounds of Stadia SideQuest, a show where we take a step off the critical path and explore more of what the video game world has to offer. On this week's show, I'm joined by the host of the Sounds of Stadia podcast, Mr. Chris.
Hey everyone.
And this week we're going to be discussing what genre should Stadia focus on bringing to the platform next. First, a little bit of housekeeping. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon for notifications. And if you want to support us and get early access to this very show, you can for as little as 99p by becoming a YouTube member. Don't forget to check out our other content as well, such as the Sound Stadia podcast, which we are getting very, very close to episode 100. So we've got some special stuff planned in the works for that, so make sure you catch the episode 100 when it goes. Check out our Thursday night live streams, and if you want to join the conversation even further, you can join our Discord server. A link is in the description. So, not long ago, Stadia announced that they were doing a bit of a focus on bringing some like JRPGs to the platform, or RPGs in general, and we basically almost had a bounty out on it. And that resulted in, we got a lot of JRPGs, which, well published that I've played loads of them recently. But I thought, let's talk about what other genres are kind of underrepresented. I got carried away.
Stalled the engine there.
Yeah. What other genres are underrepresented on the platform?
It's an interesting one because as the platform is growing, we've got 180 plus games now, half of which seem to have been pro at some point.
Yeah.
But there are genres missing that others have. So for me, if we're thinking, again, we'd love to know probably what the audience thinks more than anything. Like, let us know what genres do you think missing in the comments down below. For me, one of the biggest ones, one of my favorite genres of all time that doesn't even exist on the platform, quite frankly, is kart races.
Yeah.
So we know one of the I think it's Ryan's Races has been rated for Stadia, which is a kart racer, so we will have one soon, but it's not quite the finished polished product we've got. It's, again, I think Brian on the podcast last week was pointing out that it's a YouTuber, a young kid called Ryan, who's like unboxing videos and stuff, and he's been fortunate enough to have his own video game with his friends racing around.
I feel I want to point out with Ryan's Races as well as it's got a Metacritic Metascore rating of 51 and a user score of 3.1.
Yeah. So it's not the greatest of kart races to get. Obviously, we're not going to get Mario Kart. No way in hell that's going to happen. However, there is Crash Team Racing,
which is inferior to Mario Kart.
I would love to see. Well, is it though?
That's not even Sounds of Stadia content.
It's not. It's Stadia Source posted that one where me and Richie discuss which is the best kart racer of all time.
Really fun doing that.
It was really fun doing that as well. But yeah, I would love to see that. We've also got there's Nickelodeon kart races. There's not many of them, to be fair, but it is a genre that is so fun to just jump in when you've got half an hour, or online with the community and just play people. And like, I absolutely love Crash Team Racing, so I would love to see it.
I think our audience have seen what we're like with proper racing games, so yeah, give us a kart race and we might have a chance. I'm just trying to think of like what kart races
Sonic
there is
Racing.
out there. Sonic would be a good get. It's usually like Mario Kart is basically the kart racer. Crash Team Racing is starting to make a comeback, but they're kind of like the only two big components of the genre. Everything else almost feels like a tier or two below them in terms of quality. Mm-hmm. So maybe a Sonic one would be good.
Yeah, there's been obviously many over the years. I've mentioned the Nickelodeon kart races, so Rugrats, SpongeBob. They've got a lot of IP, so it makes a good kart race and is a good cast of characters.
Yeah,
I remember Mod Nation Races on PlayStation 3. That was a great little one as well. It was made by the Little Big Planet people. That was really, really fun to play. Back in the day, I'm sure there's been loads. It's basically anything with cars. Lego races. That was good. I had that on PC. That was back when I used to actually play on PC with things.
I think
that's great.
Yeah, I think one of my issues with the genre is it's one of them that almost seems to be a cash grab for most people who enter it. We've got an IP, let's stick them in some carts and just rip off Mario Kart, and we'll do pretty much a bad job, and the game always comes out feels a bit soulless, and like and everyone just goes back to Mario Kart. So it needs to not just be a cash grab and just, let's just sell anything to children. I think I'd like someone to come and make a good kart racer first and foremost, and then the IP should be but a bonus to it, right? But it needs to be a good game. This is my thing with like movie tie-in games as well. As like it needs to be a good game first, and then the IP should. It's my thing. It's my issue. One of the issues I had with Avengers, where it had to be. You need to make a good game first, and the Marvel tag is something that can lift it a bit further, rather than it would just make a game for Avengers and it'll sell.
Yeah. I'd say all the ones out there, I don't think we're going to get a Lego one. Crash Team Racing and Sonic are probably the two front runners.
I'd say Sonic is more. I feel like Sonic's the more likely to come to Stadia.
Yeah, same. Because we know Activision, what they're like. And Activision have also they've changed both studios that did Crash Team Racing into a Call of Duty support studio. Annoyingly enough. So
everyone loves that.
We're probably not going to see a port anytime soon. And the fact that Activision don't care for anything on Stadia, it would appear. But Sonic, we do have Sega have that. It always makes me laugh with Sonic Racing because, in theory, Sonic should not need a car.
Yeah, but the thing is, the way you have to look at it is, if Sonic doesn't use a car, then he's got too much of an unfair advantage.
Very true.
They have to put him in the car to balance the playing field a bit.
Yeah. And it works well for kart races because, again, cast of characters, they all have their own unique colours. So blue car for Sonic, orange car for Tails, red car for Knuckles. It does lend itself very, very well to it. Lots of different worlds and maps as well.
Yeah, that's it. I was going to say that. It's like Sonic's got a rich history, lots of cool environments that you can have fun with. It arguably could work even better than Mario.
Yeah, and gotta go fast, remember, Richie?
Yeah. Just not too fast. No, you have to, Sonic. You must stay in the cart.
Yes, I would. I'd love to see that. It's been a while since I played a Sonic racing game, but I think definitely. I mean, Crash preferably.
Yeah.
However, I will take Sonic Kart Racing, Sonic Team Racing, All Star, something or other.
The only Sonic racing game I've played was Sonic R, and the soundtrack of that game is on point. That is a phenomenal soundtrack.
Yeah, but kart races. That's definitely one of the genres for me. What would you say is your next on the list?
When I was thinking of trying to pull together a list of genres for this episode, I decided to focus in more down the PC route, what are games that are more synonymous with PC gaming rather than console gaming. And one of the ones I actually came up with is MOBAs.
Right.
There is MOBAs and consoles, but we're talking about things like League of Legends or Dota or Smite. Things like that, where you get typically 5v5 online battles, 3 lanes. You have to progress up the lanes, taking out towers, that sort of stuff. But if it's just something that there isn't one on Stadia, and I'm not a big MOBA player, but if you could get something I think Smite might be the easiest to get. I'm not sure what Riot, who make League of Legends' stance on Stadia is. But
yeah, it'd be interesting to get that. I think again we've said many times the PC style games that do lend themselves maybe more to mouse and keyboard and stuff. There's a big gap in there. The fact that Stadia utilizes mouse and keyboard seamlessly.
Yeah,
I'd love to see more games like that. Any particular franchise you've got in mind?
No. I could. League of Legends would probably the biggest one. Dota is Valve, so I can't really see that happening. But League of Legends is Riot, I believe. So I suppose that is possible. But there again, Riot will probably look at it and go, where's the real benefit? Because these games aren't as kind of designed to not be so intensive to run. So even low entry gaming PC hardware can usually sustain them. That's tends to could be the downfall of a Stadia port, and also it'd have to be crossplay to make it successful because they are entirely online based.
What type of game is XCOM? I know that's a particular genre to itself.
XCOM is turn-based strategy. You basically, I've never played an XCOM game, but basically I think you kind of get a grid, and you have to move your characters around the grid to get flanking attacks and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, because we mentioned on the podcast this week that the 2K are apparently working on, or Take-Two, sorry, are working on, which might be 2K, it's Firaxis Games who do XCOM. They're working on a Marvel-themed title. And again, when we were talking about that, I was like, oh, there's nothing really. I know Nintendo have like the Rabbids game,
I was going to bring
Rabbids,
up,
which is very similar.
That's in that style, yeah.
So that, I guess, is a genre within a genre almost that we haven't seen. We mentioned South Park in the podcast as well, like a turn-based RPG in a way, but it's not really an RPG, but it is kind of thing. Like not a traditional one anyway.
Yeah, I think XCOM will probably be officially classified, without looking this up, so feel free in the comments to correct me if I'm wrong, as like a turn-based strategy. But because it's got quite a unique style to it, it's almost like a Metroidvania where like it like defines its own genre.
Yeah, it is like it's got enough different going on to it. Turn-based tactics, tactical role playing.
There you go.
Then. There you go. According to Wikipedia, of course. So read into that what you will. So yeah, that genre. I think leaning into the PC ones. Moving along for me, I've been a big advocate since playing the Humankind beta early access last summer. That I would love to see just more like RTS style games like that. I frequently, probably every other couple of months, tweet at Frontier Games, who make Planet Coaster and the Jurassic World Evolution games, because they're great titles. They also have PC and console editions. So the games are already utilized for mouse and keyboard and a controller if required.
So, Planet Coaster, these I think these would be great for people on playing casually on the phone as well.
Tropico, those type of games. Again, it's just something that
just strategy, whether turn-based or real time. Just give us more strategy games.
It's management, and I think because they have console variants, the port across the Stadia, the groundwork is already done. So you know your game already runs regardless of the inputs. So just do the port. Yeah,
I think for me, some things like, say, I wouldn't expect an Age of Empires to come to Stadia because it's Microsoft.
But
I don't think that needs to have a console port to make it work on Stadia, because you can just play with mouse and keyboard. So if you're playing casually and you've just got like a Chromebook or something, oh wait, I can play the new Age of Empires or substitute whatever your favorite, new Total War.
Jurassic World Evolution 2.
Yeah, I can play Jurassic World Evolution 2. I like the last game. I want to play the new one. I can just play on my Chromebook. So I don't have to go out and buy a gaming PC to play this PC game.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I'd love to just have more places to play them. Like I played Jurassic World Evolution, the first one, on my PlayStation 4. I think, PlayStation 4. I played Planet Coaster on my PC. And the fact that I could then just take the best of both things and play them on my phone, play them on my tablet, or like you said, on a Chromebook on the move without having to lug around a big box. That's wonderful. And again, it's a genre that I think Stadia could do so well, and yet it doesn't really have anything that ticks that box. Well, and it could.
Same with the similar theme of what is predominantly PC gamers and a bit more aimed towards a more casual player. The Sims. I mean, when that's not a genre, with simulation games, but Sims is a good example of it, where, like we've talked before, like your sister is a big fan of The Sims. She's not going to buy a gaming PC to play it, but if she can just use a Chromebook or something, or a cheap thin light, or her phone, then I could see get back into The Sims.
Yeah, it ticks that box.
Or use when Bridge Mob finally gets launched, you could use your Chromecast and attach your mouse and keyboard through there.
Yeah, get it up and running. The Sims is a great one because, again, it's a franchise that's been around for feels like our entire lives right now. But having the possibility to play it on your phone, because again, they're not games that require like fast reflexes or anything. Like to play like an Age of Empires style RTS or The Sims, it's more like methodical and you go through it in your own time. So even The Sims with the touchscreen controls wouldn't even be that bad, I don't think, because you're not like frantically trying to shoot someone in a fraction of a second. You are very much moving, zooming in.
Personally hate it, but there again, I know I am aware there's an entire generation of gamers people. I'm gonna call them gamers who find controller or mouse and keyboard inputs weird because they only play touchscreen on the phone. That's them in gaming.
Let's face it, we've all been there where we've watched a friend, a family member, a loved one play a couch co-op game with you when they have the little controller and they do the whole when they're going around the corner in a kart race, or they're moving and their brain's not quite as relaxed with the layout as we are, who grew up with it. But you're totally right. Yeah, there's 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds out there who their only input to gaming has been touchscreen.
Yeah.
So for them, playing, I mean, Brian mentioned last week with his niece, I think it was, on Minecraft. Like touchscreen on Minecraft, to me, horrendous. But if that's all you've ever known, that's the game. So playing The Sims or something on your phone, because your phone could never run The Sims because it's surprising. Like,
I remember The Sims 3 is one I've put by far the most time into. I don't own Sims 4, but I do occasionally still dabble with Sims 3 once in the blue moon. And I remember just how hard that game is to run. It's like, it's ridiculous for like a casual the game that's aimed at like such a broad market. Like, my old gaming PC would struggle.
Yeah.
And this goes back, no problems, but yeah.
Yeah, this goes back to conversations we've had about like EA Play could be like a subscription model similar to Ubisoft Plus.
Yeah.
And it would just broaden the horizons. Like if you want to play a Sims, you don't have to buy it like outright. You don't have to buy it from Origin and download it. You just boot up the EA Play app via Stadia or whatever that looks like, and just play it on the go. It's
not just the Sims. There's things like SimCity or like what's the other one?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Describe it.
It is like a SimCity style game, but it's called something different.
It's like SimCity, but called something different. Populous the beginning.
It's not Populous. It'll come to me. Will come to me.
That's a great game, Populous.
Yeah, but I think they're the sort of genres that
is it City Skylines?
City Skylines. That's it. See, something like that, I think would be great on Stadia.
Yeah. I think it's just a genre that is exclusive pretty much to PC, and like we're getting Humankind, and we've played Humankind. You've got it pre-ordered, and it's just so different from anything else on the platform, and I'd just love to see more of it. So yeah, it's definitely a shout. Give me Roller Coaster Tycoon as well while we're on RTSs.
Oh yeah, I bought that on Steam not long ago.
Yeah, I've got it in so many iterations now. I've still got the discs lying around somewhere. Don't know where to put them, but I still have the discs.
Just in case.
Just nostalgia reasons.
Another thing, I'm going to keep this on the like aimed at the casual stuff, like party games. This is one you suggested.
Yeah, because we've got some. We've got like Cake Bash and Get Packed and stuff and Spitlings, and they are fun.
But my thoughts were more of, I know they're technically party games, but they're more game. They're leaning more into the game side of the genre rather than the party side. I was thinking of something like Jackbox.
Yeah.
Where it's something like when you have people over, maybe for a few drinks, like you can just get out and you can interact who are not gamers. Because I think again this would be something great. Jackbox, I think it would be phenomenal on Stadia.
Yeah, it's an interesting one with the Jackbox games. Sorry, because they. Obviously, you use your mobile device as a controller, essentially, of the input. But with Stadia, obviously, all the inputs are going to the Stadia server, so there might need to be like a technical workaround to get that to work. Because whereas you traditionally would use like the PlayStation, the Xbox, and then the inputs would be coming from a mobile device. But if your mobile device is the thing running Stadia, if you get where I'm going, it's like there's a weird route for the inputs that isn't just traditional console and mobile.
I'm sure
that, but yeah, I'd love to see those games.
Well, if it's running on the Chromecast, then it frees up your phone or whoever's the host. I'm sure there's a way it is. I can't imagine just like the game running on one person's phone and everyone else is stood around.
Huddled around, yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a generated code, and then the inputs go to a website. I'd imagine that kind of feeds the inputs into the game running. So it'd be easy to get up and running. But you're completely right. Party games, it's a big genre. It's a genre that gets more people who aren't traditional gamers involved. I've played the Jackbox games with like my parents, my brother and sister at literal house parties. There's just something different to do with the family, and there's such a laugh, some of them. I'd love to see something like that.
Yeah.
What else have we got? I kind of want, again, some of these genres, we're well aware there are versions, there are games that are part of them, but they're more underrepresented.
That's the one thing I was going with, underrepresented, where we know there's lots of JRPGs. Sports I've got on the list, but I'll touch on briefly because I don't feel like all sports are currently are represented. We've got football's represented, soccer's represented, basketball's represented, golf,
yeah. Olympics.
Olympics, yeah. But there's stuff. There's lots of racing games, but there's things like other stuff like hockey isn't there. So there could be.
I've seen a lot of the American audience clambering for ice hockey.
I always feel like sport is a category of genres rather than a genre to itself.
Well, yeah, they're all unique in their own right, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, and again, there's that argument that we need to see the early iterations. We've done a whole SideQuest episode on it before, the sequels and stuff. So yes, it's great. We've got sports games, but you don't want that to dry out and become just old sports games. It needs to be current. You need to keep the genre alive with current styles, because sports changes year in year out. That's the great thing about it. It's never stands still. So yeah, Formula One and motocross, rally, all those kind of different iterations. Need to see more of them.
I'd say Battle Royale as well.
Yeah, we've got PUBG or PUBG G, whatever it's called. I would say PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
It's PUBG. It's PUBG. BG now.
PUBG BG now. Yeah. But in terms of Battle Royale, we know we're getting the Animal Royale game, like the little pixel one with the cute little animals. But in terms of genres, it's arguably the biggest genre at the moment, and everyone is trying to get into it. But on the Stadia front, it's great. We've got PUBG. That was definitely the front runner, but it's also probably the least played now.
PUBG was the front runner before Fortnite. PUBG was breaking records before Fortnite exploded, and then PUBG's just kind of fallen by the wayside. I feel it's like. It's still. Didn't have the money. I think it's got a solid user base, but it's nowhere near like where it was. It's nowhere near like a Fortnite or things like an Apex Legends or Call of Duty
Warzone. Yeah, like that's it. That's those three games there you've just listed. Yeah, they are like massive. Like the amount of player base there and money involved. Like we've seen Fortnite and Epic. Like Epic have basically just revitalized and changed. Like they've changed their business model based on the cash they've had influx from Fortnite. And on Stadia we've got.
I can't see Fortnite anytime soon, especially with Epic suing Google.
I can't see any of them anytime soon. I think Apex is our best shot.
Yeah, Apex is. I think I was going to get to that. I think Apex is the best shot because Call of Duty's Activision have expressed zero interest in any cloud gaming platform that I'm aware of. They may have been interested in xCloud because it's Xbox, but Activision just do Activision stuff.
They do indeed. But EA obviously we've had 5 EA games, sports ones included.
There's new leadership at Activision, so that might change the stance.
Yeah, there's a lot of new people going to be showing up at Activision soon.
Yeah, that's we're not going to go into that sort of topic, but yeah.
No.
Bad Activision. Royale, you did bad.
Bad Activision. In kind of amongst Battle Royale, I guess arena shooters as well. Yeah. Like we've seen like Overwatch 2 is obviously in the pipeline. Yeah, true. What other arena? There's so many. There's all those new dodgeball games coming out. We've said with Ubisoft before, Hyperscape is kind of its own like arena shooter battle royale hybrid kind of thing. But we've got PUBG and that Animal.
I feel battle royale, online multiplayer game with Stadia is a problem at the moment. But in order to solve that problem, you're going to have to bring more online multiplayer games to the platform to bring the user base over. And I think these are the sort of stuff where it needs to be with crossplay, I think, for the foreseeable future. I don't think any of these like multiplayer games could sustain themselves without crossplay.
Yeah, 100% agree. We say like Destiny does it the best, and we reported on the podcast last week. Destiny is bringing full crossplay and cross save as part of the season 15 content. Yeah. So that's imminent. I think that's just going to do wonders for Destiny. We know PUBG does crossplay with PC as well, but then they took away mouse and keyboard on Stadia, so it's an interesting one.
It was, was it PC and Xbox it was crossplay with?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But I think just more representation. Again, we know this takes time. We know it's not just like a flick a switch and all of a sudden all these genres are available and so they need porting, they need development time. But as Stadia grows, they've got to be looking at this thinking we need our library to have a tick in every category for every audience, so more people hang around.
To be perfectly honest, if I'm Stadia at the moment, I'm probably just going to look at the situation and go, unless we can get a game, if we can get a big multiplayer game, something like a Call of Duty Warzone with crossplay, we absolutely go for it. Yeah. But if not, I think the focus should be more on the single player thing. Because if a single player doesn't rely on you having a mass audience, so if you bring a new third person shooter, for example, let's say a new Uncharted style game, that's something that
the next Tomb Raider game.
Yeah, next Tomb Raider, that's something that someone could buy. I'd be happy to buy on Stadia. Where if I was looking to play something like Call of Duty Warzone,
Rainbow Six Extraction could be one of them. Like that's going to live or die on its audience.
Like if Extraction doesn't have, I can't remember if it has crossplay or not announced, but
I think it might actually. I think they said with cloud gaming originally, and then I think they showed you that image that was going to be PS5 and Xbox like later down the line, delayed. So I think that it will benefit from crossplay.
But if I wasn't a Stadia content creator and I was looking to get that game, I'm really excited for that game. And my choice is Stadia or PS5. I'm more likely to lean to PS5 because of the play. I know the player base is there where Stadia isn't. But with something like Tomb Raider, it then just goes, what are the merits of the platform? And I'd probably go for Stadia.
Yeah. And we've said again, like underrepresentation. As far as we know, we're not getting Battlefield 2042.
Yeah.
We're not getting Back 4 Blood, which is another one me and you were talking about off camera the other day. Yeah. And it's just like there's certain genres that the big hitters aren't coming out for it. Like it's great we're getting all the Ubisoft stuff, but these genres, these categories need to be kept alive by newer titles coming to it.
I mean, I've talked about this before, but I think there's certain titles you need to have on your platform just for that credibility. Like if, for example, let's say FIFA 23 doesn't come to Stadia, that's then the platform loses a bit of credibility because it can't. That's basically saying, the platform can't sustain this sort of game.
Yeah,
and it's a game that you'd expect to be able to play on every platform. I mean, you can even bloody play on the Switch.
Yeah, but we never really know about how these deals work because again, talking about representation going up and down, and you mentioned simulation games, like we've said on this very show before. Football Manager, never saw Football Manager 22.
Yep.
No mention of it. We don't know if that's coming. And then yes, Farming Simulator, however, we're getting the next one of that. So it's like I just love to be a fly on the wall to know who's making these decisions, who's hashing out these deals to say like what they get and what they don't get. Because you're totally right. There must be someone at Google who's like an acquisitions girl, manager, whose job is to seek out these developers and say, right, we can fund X amount, we need that title. They must see some kind of return on investment for having specific games over others, and there must come down sometimes to a yes or no decision of, do we go for Battlefield 2042, or do we put all the eggs in the basket of Resident Evil 7, 8 instead? And it's like that, like we'll never know, of course, but you're totally right. The credibility line, every box needs ticked. If you're going to have a sustainable platform, every box needs ticked for every game, every type of gamer out there.
The credibility line for me comes more from the end user rather than the people interested in Stadia on a business level. Because if you're looking into the platform and you're like, I don't know, you're big into arena shooters and things like Overwatch aren't there, you're just going to move on. Yeah. That's it. If you're an Overwatch fan and like, okay, I'm thinking about investing in a new console, a new PC or cloud platform, you look at Stadia and go, well, I can't play Overwatch there. That's Stadia off the list.
Yeah. It's interesting where we mentioned again about the touchscreen stuff for The Sims and that. The kind of final one that I can really only think of is probably the point and click ones. We've got Dark Side Detective, which is very much a point and click game. But the touchscreen elements, if they can get Stadia to I think they've mentioned it before in like a blog post or something. Might have been the devs event on the community blog about touchscreen interface. So if I'm playing a point and click adventure, I don't need the up and down arrows. I don't need the X, Y, B, and A buttons.
It's not emulated. It's not an emulated controller. It's actually just a full touchscreen interface,
like a mouse input essentially. Like
that would be so much better.
Fantastic.
Emulated controller inputs are suck so bad.
Yeah, they do. But back to The Sims, like that would work great if it was pinch and zoom on your touchscreen like that, and click with your finger as the mouse essentially. So as long as there's not many games that require much keyboard input, you just need mouse input. Dark Side Detective would be great. So let me see some more point and click.
It's not a mobile it's not a mobile version of the game. It's just taking some of the features that a mobile version of a game would have in terms of its interface. but it's the full-fledged version because there's no reason to have a watered-down version.
Yeah.
So it's like Football Manager is a good example because he is a Football Manager touch version. So the input is specifically aimed at for the touch controls, but it's not the full-fat Football Manager PC version.
Yeah. Could you play Football Manager without keyboard inputs?
Yeah, you don't need keyboard.
Could you do it just?
You can do it with just the mouse. Well, there's a few things like you may need to use a keyboard for example, naming your manager.
So yeah, might just need a pop-up on-screen keyboard for that moment. But again, touchscreen on-screen keyboard to type that works fine.
Yeah,
that's your phone does that as like a basic function. So good stuff. Yeah, lots of genres. And again, I guess for our audience, we just love to hear what genres you think are underrepresented or chilly non-existent.
I'm someone who not recently actually, but I am someone who has traditionally genre hopped a lot. I mean, recently I've just pretty much finished a JRPG binge, and then I went into an RPG.
So genre hopping.
Yeah, but there's a big difference between Ace and Mass Effect.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
But with that, that's all we have time for you this week. Thank you very much for watching the video. Make sure you like it, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications. New memberships start as little as 99p, which give you early access to this very show. And none of our content is gatekept, so if you don't have that £1 to spare, you will get it on Friday instead of Sunday. Make sure you check out other shows such as the Sound Stadia podcast and our First Night live streams. Head to Discord to continue the discussion even further. I've been Richie.
I've been Chris, who's been underrepresented.
And with that, quest completed.